If I'm not mistaken, August 7th, 2020, Bill Barr was the Attorney General and Donald Trump was the president. So explain to me where the two-tiered system of justice comes into play. And then the WhatsApp message you have, I believe, is dated June 6, 2017. Joe Biden is not vice president or even a candidate for president at that time. So where is the direct connection to some sort of criminal malfeasance within these two pieces of evidence?
Well, I think the facts speak for themselves. There's over 700 pages of examples of where people should be very concerned. When you're talking about what was your first question? It doesn't matter who's in the White House. We need to make sure that the Department of Justice works for all people and doesn't treat those who are politically connected or wealthy much differently.
But you suggested that Joe Biden being the president now is unfairly treating Donald Trump in his indictments?
What I'm talking about is the 700 pages that we have before us, which is all the information that came from the IRS whistleblowers.
Representative Jason Smith must have been on the losing end of the decision on who House Republicans were choosing to face reporters over their investigation and impeachment inquiry into Joe Biden, because he wasn't enjoying this exchange with a reporter that asked questions that he just couldn't answer.
Can you explain the timing then of the August 6th WhatsApp message? Why is that evidence of some wrongdoing?
I'm not an expert on the timeline. I would love to have President Biden and his family to tell us about all the timelines.
But if he's not the president or the vice president at that time, where's the wrongdoing? He wasn't even a candidate for president at that time.
He was a candidate.
In August 6th of 2017?
Apparently, what source are you with?
I'm with NBC.
So apparently you'll never believe us.
I'm not saying I don't believe you. I'm asking you a very direct question. You presented a piece of evidence that you say came on August 6, 2017, that demonstrates that Joe Biden was using political influence to help his son. If he wasn't a political figure at that time, the first WhatsApp message you put up, how does that demonstrate that there's some sort of political influence being put over him if at that time he is not he's not an elected official?
I'm definitely not going to pinpoint one item. I think we've outlined.
You presented it. It was your first thing that you brought up.
So apparently you don't agree with it. So
it's not that I don't agree with it. I'm asking you to explain it.
I'll take the next question.
This is just embarrassing. James Comer's usually the one that's bumbling and fumbling over their lack of evidence linking Joe Biden to the crimes that they're pursuing, which, by the way, they have every right to pursue. But if you're pursuing something, why continue to put your face in front of the cameras and reporters if you're not ready to present your case? It might be because elected officials have been watching too many cable news pundits toss out arguments that are crafted so directly in partisanship that they believe it themselves.
He was using his son to get rich, and now he's using his son to obstruct justice. This is a cover-up. And you can't say that Joe has nothing to do with it. His family is suing the IRS agents who were blocked from pursuing him. Mm-hmm. And this guy, Hunter, you know the guy that walks around probably with a pop collar saying, "Don't you know who my father is?"
You mean Jesse Waters?
Exactly. Except my dad's not the president. That's Hunter Biden. It's now a crime to get Hunter in trouble.
Right.
If you get Hunter in trouble, you're in trouble. And so, but this is what the Bidens do. They indict Trump. They threaten reporters for covering impeachment. You know, anytime you do anything to the Bidens, you're the ones that are in trouble. I've never heard of someone getting caught for tax evasion by an agent and then suing the agent for catching them.
It's a good thing Jesse's never heard of it, because Hunter isn't suing IRS agents for catching his evasion. He's suing them over making his tax information public, because this is what the lawsuit states. Despite clear warnings from Congress that they were prohibited from disclosing the contents of their testimony to the public in another forum, Mr. Shapley and Mr. Ziegler's testimony only emboldened their media campaign against Mr. Biden. And finally, since their public testimony before the House of Representatives on July 19, 2023, the agents have become regular guests on national media outlets and have made new allegations and public statements regarding Mr. Biden's confidential tax return information that were not previously included in their transcripts before the Committee on Ways and Means. By the way, Hunter Biden's legal issues and wrongdoing are perfectly fine to uncover in court proceedings, but pundits and politicians are using it to make flimsy connections to Joe Biden for the sake of presidential politics, of course. It actually disrespects the legal process of holding Hunter Biden accountable by making it 100% about his father when that evidence has yet to be presented. And speaking of a lack of evidence, Representative Jamie Raskin breaks down the holes in their case much better than I could.
Dozens of Republicans recognize what a futile and absurd process this is. The title of the hearing is The Basis for an Impeachment Inquiry of President Joseph Biden. And yet they present us no basis at all today, even after 8 months of investigation. They've invited 3 witnesses to testify. Not one of them is an eyewitness to a presidential crime of any kind. Not one of them is a direct fact witness about any of the events related to Ukraine and Burisma. Not one of them has participated in the 8 months of investigation in which our distinguished chairman has publicly boasted that he received 100% of everything he asked for. In fact, the committee has received 12,000 pages of bank records. Here they are, right in front of us, printed double-sided. And not a single page shows a dime going to President Joe Biden.